I'm here speaking with John Atere. Isn't that how you say your last name,
Yeah,
John?
yeah, you got it. Perfect.
Introduce yourself to the people, John.
So, hello everyone. My name is John Atere. I'm from Washington, D.C. I went to Howard University for dental school, and I'm now currently at Roseman University for orthodontics.
Roseman. And what year are you at Roseman, John?
I just finished my first year, so technically I'm an R2. Well, I'm R1 right now, almost R2. Give me a couple months and I'll be R2.
So you're kind of in limbo.
Exactly, exactly. So,
You have every reason to believe that you'll make it to the second year.
oh yeah, of course,
Yeah.
I have to,
Well,
have to make
yeah. I used to think the same thing. I have every reason to believe that I'll graduate unless I don't.
it.
Now,
Exactly. I'm in the same boat.
yeah, one of the reasons I wanted to talk with you, John, and did you just say how old you are, John?
Oh, I'm 29 years old.
Yeah. And are you? Do you mind saying if you're married?
Not married yet. I will be soon.
Oh, John.
Oh, I was supposed to say that. No, I'm like real soon, real soon.
Real soon.
Yeah,
Well, congratulations are in order. Just
thank you.
remember you only have a 50% chance of making it for 5 years, but I digress. Um, now, thinking about post graduation, which is a solid 2 years away, right?
Mhm.
When you came into this, I mean, being 29, some folks that come into orthodontics right off the bat are in their early 20s or mid 20s or such as that. What do you visualize as your ideal position, your ideal job, your ideal career after you graduate? Give me a few thoughts about that.
Well, after that, I want to learn more, maybe be an associate. You know, get more experience. Um, start making money. I know that's not the first thing, but that's really important because you've been in school back to back, like me. You kind of get broke, so it's time for me to start, building in that area. Um, as far as my career, that's what I want to do for like maybe the next 2, 3 years. See how practices run. I don't know if I mentioned earlier in Roseman, we're also getting our master's degree, so they're teaching us how to more or less work a practice or acquire practice. If that's where I want to go, if that's my goal. After that, maybe I don't know. I haven't really thought past the 5 year mark, but as far as like my short term goals, those are my short term goals. You know, maybe get some more mentorship from you, Dr. Samson, if that's cool. you know,
That's
let me
cool.
slide that in there. But yeah, those are basically my short term goals.
Short term goals. Now, these days, people talk a lot about the work life balance. And I've thought, based on my observations, um, that it's more life work balance. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I totally agree. I think it should be the life work balance. It's for me, family is very very important. So I want to be able to spend as much time with them as possible, which is one of the biggest reasons why I got into ortho. Why I was blessed to get into ortho because of my family. It's three of us. It's me, my brother, my sister, and both my parents. Thank God they're still alive. So for me, it's very very important to spend the rest of my time with them. So they come in, they visit me often, which is very important to me. So and that's basically how I'm going to judge the trajectory of my work. I want to work somewhere close to my family. You know, work somewhere
And it,
close to my family and have a lot of time with my family. That's extremely, extremely important to me.
yeah. And your family are? Did you say where are they located, John?
So they're in DC, Washington, DC.
Okay,
Yep.
DC.
Yep.
Uh, so it's interesting to me that some people will say that the most important thing to them is family, as you mentioned. Others will say, "No, I want to live near the ocean because I'm an ocean
Mhm.
person, or I'm a mountains person, or I'm a high desert person." Um, and I often think that if that's who you are, like you just mentioned, you want to be very close to where your family is within driving distance.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and
Within
if you're
them.
not driving distance, I just don't see how you can be happy.
Yeah. Or I mean, I could move my family where I am. If that's a possibility. So, but if it's not within driving, or maybe like an hour or two flight, that's the extent I would go. But if it's
That's
not
the
that,
extent.
I wouldn't really. Yeah, that's I wouldn't be really happy. My family and the gym. I have to have a gym as well. Those are the two biggest factors. But mainly my family. So yeah,
A
man.
gym, yeah, that chair that you're sitting on, the wings of the chair are only slightly wider than your shoulders.
I needed a chair that could fit. The chair that before this, sorry, not to cut you off. The chair that I had, I almost broke it and fell back. So I picked the sturdiest chair in here. They're all the chairs here are scrawny. You've seen me. You see me. I'm a heavy dude. So yeah, man. That actually would have been funny to catch on camera.
Yeah. Well, now you mentioned, so when you graduate, you're thinking more that you would not immediately open your own office totally solo. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe I
And
need a lot. I believe I need more mentorship and guidance before I could do that. Yeah,
now, would you be thinking about an associateship leading to partnership, leading to a buyout? And again, I understand this is like fantasy land about what you have in mind. Is that what you're thinking?
yeah. That's actually what I'm thinking. Yeah, I think that will be the path of least resistance. And in our MBA program, that's kind of how they push us to go. Based off the economy and how things are going, they kind of direct us in that way. So that would be a dream come true for me actually, if I could start off as an associate and move my way up there. Make a good relationship, grow, all in the same process.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Roseman, you're in your class. You're getting a MBA,
Yeah.
isn't that right?
Yes.
As part of the experience.
Yeah.
Do you think that's worthwhile?
Um, I think I give Roseman a lot of credit because I believe they're the only school in the nation that has an MBA with the orthodontics certification. It was worthwhile to me because where I come from, I had basically no business acumen at all. So this actually it was very useful to me personally. So I'm very grateful for them adding that to the program. Now, as far as doing an MBA in a year, that it was aggressive. So I wouldn't do it again in a year, but I'm happy that I have it. Let's say that. So thank you, Roseman. If they ever see this, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know, just extend it a little bit, but I appreciate it. So
Extended a little, so you'd like to be in school longer?
no, not for me. For the other classes, you can. Not for me. No, no,
No,
no
no,
more. No.
no,
After this, no more school. No more books. No. I'm still gonna read, but no more school. That's
no
it.
more school.
No more.
Do you have? Are you thinking that eventually you'd like to open your own business to be totally solo? What do you think of that idea?
Um, like starting from scratch, like opening a practice from scratch, or just any kind of business in general.
Well, I would say opening it. So let's imagine that you do some stretch as an associate.
Yes.
Then do you visualize eventually opening your own business with some experience backing you?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. Like we previously mentioned, I would rather go the acquiring route, like a buyout. But um, what's really important for me is to get on my feet, get on the ground, and start running. If I have the opportunity to start from scratch, because I have a lot of friends and family back home who are actually doing that. I can, if I gauge how they're doing it, see how they're growing, then potentially. But I'm not too pressed to start from scratch. I understand it takes a lot of work. You know, it takes a lot of time. So it's in the cards, but it's not my number one priority, as I could say. For me personally, like getting a job near family would be higher than that right now. But things change as I get older. Obviously, I get more experience. Things will change. So
Yeah, um, the especially dental brands that I'm connected with as a clinic director. What we I'm going to say we offer this. It's called Pathway to Partnership. So
Mm,
once we assess if the person's a good fit for us in orthodontics, and that person decides we're a good fit for them, what we're primarily interested in, actually, John, I'm not sure you've ever heard about this, is we want people that want to become partners.
mm,
Uh, it's called an owner's mentality
okay.
versus a stepping stone mentality that, I'm just on my way to something else. And we found that for many people that's important, and actually for people who don't see it as important, that would not be one of our targets to have within our organization. And when I say pathway to partnership, you actually become a partner of specialty dental brands.
Okay.
Uh, when How many patients are you seeing on average, or do the folks at Roseman see on average per day? Just give me an average number.
Average, I would say four, about four on average.
Four for the whole day.
Yes. Oh no, no, for the whole day. Oh, probably like six. I forgot because we're not in the clinic in the mornings yet, but everyone else is about six to seven ish.
Yeah. So you have plenty of time to think and discuss
Oh
things.
yeah, yeah. In between and yeah,
Yeah, as I think now that I'm actually on the faculty of Roseman, I think I've mentioned to you in the entire postgraduate, all the classes, that there's a question of, is it better to see a few patients a day and have plenty of time to think and discuss
mm,
and rethink and rediscuss, uh, or are you better off to see 20 or 30 patients a day or something like that? And my bias is definitely fewer patients per
yeah,
day, because uh, one has to learn how to think and see clearly before, you because I think you played some sports, haven't you?
yeah, 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 yep,
Might have been football,
yeah.
maybe.
Play football, play a little bit of college ball. Yeah,
Yeah, just a guess,
just
John. Just a wild guess.
just a little bit.
I didn't play football, just in case you're wondering. I could have been the football, probably, but you know yourself that speed is a byproduct of expertise.
Mhm,
That you already have to know the basics to the point where you don't have to think about the basics before you can move up to the next level.
yeah.
And I think orthodontics is the same. What would you say, when we were talking just before I started the recording? I think you're comfortable with me mentioning that in your personal situation, you're carrying a significant amount of debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you raise your eyebrow, saying, "Yeah,"
Yeah.
that
Well,
always tells people something.
a lot, man. Whew, man. I not to boast, but I own a lot of that. Like we're talking six plus. That was a lot, man. It was a lot. But I thank God I'm so easygoing. Right while I'm in the process, I don't think about it. But sometimes it hits me here and there. Like I'll be eating and I'm like, whoa, I own a lot of money. And then I forget about it. But it's significant. It's significant.
So do you feel that once you graduate, that that's going to be highly influential, medium influential? Where does that stand as far as this life work balance?
Well, for me personally, I would say medium because I've been in school for a while. I really want to enjoy. I want to work. I want to save. You know, I want to bless my family, bless my parents. I have great parents, so that's for me. That's number one. But after all that, number two, a big number two, is the loans. That's I can't ignore it. It's so much that I wouldn't be able to live my life knowing that I had that much. I'm not really a free man. So it's medium. It's medium. It's high medium. We'll say that high medium.
To be to take a significant bite off the debt.
Yes. Yeah. A huge bite. Yeah.
Yeah. Back when I was your age professionally, I'll call that finishing my first year of orthodontic residency at Northwestern, um, I had, as I mentioned to you, what I considered uh, debt, but it didn't really make me nervous. I actually always thought, well, I'm going to pay this off. And I'm not going to be one of these people that decides, well, I'll wait for the government to bail me out. I mean, there was no such thing at that time, or wait for somebody else to bail me out. Sometimes called the generous in laws bill. You know, you make money the old fashioned way, you
Man,
marry.
I was listening. I was attentively listening to see if there was actually a bill. I was like, man,
Yeah.
I gotta apply to this thing, man. But I don't think that's gonna work for me.
Yeah. How do you feel about all of the regulations that have come into orthodontics since, uh, as you know, I finished my, or as you may recall, I finished my orthodontic program in 1981, and there were not all of these bizarre restrictions. You know, all of, for example, um, internet hacking and the incredible threat that any private business is under uh, if they have a breach, if they have a security breach. There's enough government threat there that that could absolutely put someone out of business, absolutely put you out of business. And as a private practitioner, whether you buy somebody's practice or um, start your own, you are under the very real scepter of that internet security threat. And have you ever given any thought to that? Is that on your mind at all?
Um, hmm, no, I haven't given much thought to it. Because I think I've been so caught up in the process of just finishing school. But now that you bring it up, it's kind of scary a little because I didn't really realize how much of an issue that was. But I don't know. Hopefully by the time I graduate and I start working or partnering with you, no, no, no. But hopefully when I graduate and I start working, um, they would have been more done in the situation. I'm all for joining anything to help that, but as of right now, I'm going through so much. I don't know if I don't. I haven't put so much thought into it, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it's the type of thing that, yeah, I don't think it should. My advice is it should not weigh heavily on your mind, but by the same token, you don't want to be naive and not be aware of the fact that uh, when a private business, any business, has a security breach, uh, my understanding, and I may be wrong about this, actually, I may be lowballing it. The penalty from the federal government is over $1,000 a chart.
Well, one,
So, right, if you do the math, if you buy a practice that has 10,000 records, which you could, that's enough to put in. You're up against the feds,
wow,
which is when I found all this out, which was I mean, when I went into practice, there were no computers really. That was just when I was starting in practice that even started coming in, but no computerized stuff for business. When I found out from government officials or ex-government officials what the penalties were, and I was just it took my breath away.
wow,
It could have an influence on me because, um, as I think you're aware, I started a solo practice after only 1 year of being an associate. I thought, nah, this isn't going to work. I need my own business. I mean, I'm not. It's one of the things that I wonder is you played football. Well, do you see yourself as a team player versus a solo player?
oh, I'm definitely. I have to. I've been ingrained. I play so many sports. I have to be a team player. I know that it took a team to get me to where I am in every sense of life. So I'm definitely. I I have to be a team. It shows with my family. That's why I'm so close to my family. That's my first team. You know, the team Atere team Atere. So they got me through dental school, and then my team now. Oh, I forgot to mention one interesting fact. My team. I'm the only male in my class, so it's me and 9 other women. So even with that, we're a great team. I'm like I don't know, like I'm like the brother, the girl brother of the team. I don't know how to explain it, but it's actually a very hilarious scenario. But yeah, I'm definitely a team player. You know, I just I learned how to humble myself and you know just go with the flow. You know, go with the flow. Work together, accomplish a lot.
Yeah, take responsibility for your own actions.
Exactly. Well, I
Yeah,
have to in my class because they blame me for everything. So I mean, it's inevitable. I have to. So yeah,
yeah. What would you, if I were to ask you about deal breakers? I mean, I think there's a few that are obvious, like you want to be close to your family, you want to be part of a team that feels the same way that you do about the importance of the synergy that happens when you have people that want to work together for the common good.
yes,
And that can be tricky to sort out because you know yourself, the orthodontic profession is not lacking in individual egos.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean that in the kindest possible way. So getting into a situation where the doctors are actually and I know plenty of these that have happened where the doctors are still running a popularity contest. So somebody such as yourself, you know, a younger person with a lot of energy, it comes in. Well, one of the key questions is how are you going to get new patients? Where are they going to assign the new patients? How important is marketing to you? Since I mean, you do have. Have you finished the MBA? Is that done?
we have one more class and we're done.
One more. Okay, so essentially it's done.
Essentially, yeah.
So, how important is marketing
Oh
to
man,
you with your MBA background at your age?
marketing, especially now, is so important. It's that is why we have other companies. I'm not going to mention their names who don't have orthodontic backgrounds that are doing so well because their marketing is amazing. They're on every app, such as Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. They have filters, and because I'm so well connected in my community, I have friends constantly contacting me like, John, should I do this or should I do like Smile Direct or should I do this? Should I do that? Just because they're marketing, and then I'll convince them. I'll tell them, hey, it's better to do regular orthodontics, and they're like, no, but I heard this, I heard that. So that being said, marketing is very, very important because it basically tells a story of your practice. It tells a story of what you offer. So like I think that it's only going to get more important. It's only going to become more important to invest in marketing and to actually have a marketing plan.
Which platforms do you think? Do you personally think, and you're the people that you're friends with, which platforms do you consider the most influential?
Ooh, mm, internet based. So basically, Instagram. Instagram, right? It's between Instagram and TikTok. Those are those are like for everyone. And the thing about it now, it only takes one ad for someone to be extremely interested in one of those products. So I would say definitely Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, that's fascinating to me. The influence of the social media.
Man,
It's almost the new evidence based. You
oh
know.
man, yeah, yes, by far. And it takes so little, and it takes them financially, comparatively, basically nothing. Literally, people do word of mouth for them, and people accept it. So it's crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah. The influence of one's peers um, is quite astonishing, actually,
Yeah.
even when it's misguided influence.
Oh man, extremely, extremely.
What would you consider? And we talked about the importance of your family and this debt question. Can you articulate any other deal breakers that you would see at this point in your career? Think, well, I would not be involved in this type of situation in an orthodontic business. What would you say?
Personally, I have to like the environment has to be a healthy environment. You know how I am. You see me. I like interaction. I like to be free with my personality, I guess. That's a huge deal breaker for me. If it's too strict and too um, constricting, not allowing for different personalities. What else? I said location. Well, location, like I said, as I get older, location is more flexible because I am in Vegas right now for my residency. So but that's still on the list. Obviously, let me slide this in there. Pay, but I mean that's for everyone, and that's basically the biggest thing. Especially what I learned in my MBA is the environment. It's the cultural uh, workplace. Can I be myself? Can I learn? Can I thrive? Am I going to be depressed when I go to work? You know, so that's really really
Yeah,
big.
that's you're more like, and especially dental brands, you're more the type of person we're looking for,
Wow,
because without being
that touches me.
without without cluing you with some conversation previously, uh, the first issue is really should not be how much money you're being paid, because when someone is seduced by the money, let's say that an outfit guarantees a new grad 250, 275,000 a year guaranteed right out of school. And that can happen. My question is, well, with you having a business background, I would imagine one of your first questions would be, well, wait a minute, what's the overhead of the business?
Mm,
Because if the overhead of the business is 60% in orthodontics would be a low overhead,
hmm.
that means that you have to more than double that in collections to justify your salary, right?
Yes.
And what if you don't?
Mm,
I mean, that's the question that I would encourage you and any of your classmates to ask is, what happens if I don't ring the bell? I mean,
mm.
do I have to give money back? I mean, do you put me in debtor's prison? Are you gonna are you gonna ligate me to the chair with some steel ligatures? I mean, what are you gonna do to me? I mean, am I gonna get fired?
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? And can you imagine? Have you, John? Have you ever produced um, a $500,000 of work in a business in a year in any business?
Me personally, never. I never have.
Right.
Never.
Most people have.
Mm,
So the fact that you said first is, well, I want the work environment to be right, and marketing is critical. Well, uh, those would be things that you would obviously be looking intensely at with any job interview. What is this a good environment when you do a working day at the office? And what I mean by that is you're there to observe on a regular working day in the orthodontic office. Are people happy to be there? Are they happy to be on the job? I mean, when the person answers the phone, do they sound happy? Because they ought to be.
yeah.
I mean, they ought to be happy that somebody's calling, right?
Yeah.
And maybe I could get a new patient in here. Um, and as you've heard me say before as well, John, I don't make any excuses for making a good living. You paid a lot of dues, and it ain't over yet, and I
Oh
paid a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
So I don't make any excuse for making a good living. And I'm impressed that your family is that important, because you even said provide for your family.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of an old school way of looking at things, rather than it's all about me.
Yeah.
The whole thing is about, and it really is. But what you're telling me is, without your family, you might not even know who you are.
Exactly, man. That's all I am. I'm a mixture of family, craziness, and school. So that's literally who I am. So very very important.
Um, do you have any? What advice would you have to someone who's might be tuned in to watch this clip about anything in general in orthodontics? For example, the quality of the program, the motivation to become an orthodontist, the dues that you have to pay to become an orthodontist. I mean, you suffer. There's no question about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, do you have any advice to offer people?
My advice is this. 'Cause I actually got this from you when you came and you spoke about how it's better to have quality over the quantity. And ever since you said that, every case that I've participated in or I'm currently in with my patients, I really pay attention to, because you can have a lot of patience and good hand skills. Get good at putting brackets, even though we're not going to be doing a lot of that. Or you can really pay attention to conceptualize and know what you're doing, which is what whenever you come to teach, you really harp on the general and the basics and the advanced stuff. So my advice would be to really go there. Don't worry about the number of patients, and learn. Focus each case, because each case has something to teach you. For those who are already in the program, just learn. You know, look at each case one by one. It's not a rush. Get the quality of the case, learn as much as you can from it, and then go to the next case and do the same thing. Take your time. I mean, obviously speed is a factor, but learn what you need to learn, and just be comfortable. I try to be myself in my program. Luckily, thank God that it's working out in my favor, because it could have easily been bad, because I say some crazy things. You can ask Dr. Roberson, but be yourself. Just be free. You know, don't change your personality, or don't change who you are for the program. Be yourself and get accepted into the program that accepts you.
That's very well articulated,
Yeah.
John.
Hope that wasn't too. Hope I don't get in trouble for that. But hey, I mean,
Well, I don't see how you could. One of the things that occurred to me to ask you is what you feel the strengths are with the Roseman program, but I think you've already mentioned.
yeah.
But what would you say about that? The strongest thing about your 3-year program?
Quality, like the quality of teachers we have there is amazing. Like Dr. Roberson is one of the smartest people you ever meet, ever, especially with biomechanics. The guy loves biomechanics. And I love biomechanics because, I come from a sports, working out, lifting environment. And the quality, when we have so much, the school offers so much, like 3D printing, anything you want, any I guess appliance you want to try, they offer it, they have it. Just a lot of variety and a lot of opportunity to learn. It's like a very dense school. It has so much to learn. Anything you want to learn, you will learn it at that school. So I feel like when I graduate, I won't be lacking in any area. So yeah.
Well, John, it's always delightful to speak with you.
Oh, it's
Actually,
a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. I feel like we're you and me are very similar as far as like what goes on in here. There's a lot of stuff, but yeah,
well, I'm delighted you feel that way.
yeah. I think that's why we clicked so quickly. When you made me,
Yeah, it was pretty
yeah,
much right off the bat.
yeah. Like when you did that, when we did that little prop, the little thing in front of the class that day. I don't know if you remember, but it was funny. I think you have a video of it.
Additive and subtractive forces.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I remember that clearly because it occurred to me. I've obviously that's not the first time I've done it. I've done that all over the world, but it occurred to me when I was standing behind you to move your arms in an additive and subtractive fashion. I thought, I don't think anybody can see me when I'm standing behind,
yeah, yeah, man. I
which made
remember
it
that.
which made it even more amusing.